Welcome to the Deviant Witchery Show, where a witch can be witch. Many people have asked us what a deviant witch is, and that can be a little bit different for everybody, but it means to do what needs to be done. What we seek to do is to empower and inspire witches, helping them find their own calling and give them a place to do so without worrying about judgments. What we express in these videos are our own personal experiences and influences, and we encourage you to comment on our videos, join us on our Facebook page, and also our Facebook group as well.
Yes.
And this week, we are going to be talking about the confident witch and how you can become a confident witch and confident in your abilities.
Yeah, it's just like finding, like the tag says, finding yourself in a world of non-believers. But before we get into the actual topic, there are a few things that we want to say. The first is we still have our contest, going on. We definitely encourage you to do video responses. When we hit, which we've been gaining in subscribers, like really, really good. But when we hit 1,200 subscribers, I will be doing like a really, really good giveaway, which will have a lot of different products, stuff that I make, stuff that I've bought for this. And it's not just witchy stuff. It is actually because I do hair. There's hair stuff in it as well. There's a lot of different goodies that will be put into this box once we have 1,200, YouTube subscribers. We like to give back, so that's kind of like our goal. So we will definitely do that, and then we are still looking for more like interaction because we don't really get that many comments on our channel, and when we do get comments, some of them are actually really funny. Just like this person commented on our channel. I really don't, try not to talk shit that often.
Yeah, don't feed the trolls too much.
Yeah, I try not to do that too much, but it kind of made me laugh because this person said that we were arrogant and that what does this person say? We were arrogant and that all we do is talk shit about other witches, which we don't. I mean, we've talked shit like about situations, about how people handle things and different beliefs. We've talked about our perceptions and our experiences about that, and yeah, we have very strong beliefs. But I don't feel like we've ever really talked shit about any single person. And when and if we did, we have the respect, and we do not like actually name their names, which is because I wouldn't do that. Like that's dumb.
I think they're a little confused because usually when we talk shit about people, it's because they're not witches and they're claiming to be witches.
Right.
So we do not talk shit about witches. We talk shit about
bullshitters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what I really don't like, okay, if you have a problem with what we say, if you disagree with something that we say, if you don't like us, that's fine. Don't like us, that's absolutely fine, but do not hide behind a mask. If you're going to talk shit to us, why don't you have the balls to put a face to your fake-ass name?
Or your real name to a fake face.
Right.
Like pick one or the other.
But I appreciate and I respect people who disagree with me or with us, who actually talk and express it out. And you learn a lot more about yourself and about the other person when you actually can share disagreements and talk it through, or not even come to an understanding, or not even come to like an agreement that you believe the same thing, but just understand where each person is coming from. So there's a lot more progress that happens when you handle a situation a certain way. And
I mean, we're all adults, right?
Well, you never know. The person who commented could be like a 10-year-old from, well, we won't go there, but
Okay.
Yes. So definitely keep up the video responses, keep up the interaction on our YouTube channel as well as in the group. We enjoy reading and watching everything that y'all have to offer. We also have the question and answers tab up, and in order for you to ask a question or communicate here, you have to be on the Google event page and not the actual YouTube page. So make sure that you click the Google event the link to ask a question. There are, I just want to get all this out before we talk. There are a lot of different projects that we are talking about, that we're working on for the future of Deviant Witchery, because this has always been like a business. It has been a passion. I've never looked at it as a hobby. It's something that was really fun, something that I wanted to do. And the more that we do this together, the more that we share, the more we realize that this is something that we'd like to see progress further. And the only way that we're going to really, help everyone and at the same time, like, take care of ourselves is if we market this and if we do this the right way, and which means we're going to have to step into a different sort of atmosphere, a different energy, where we are going to treat this more like a business. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop, we'll still say fuck, we'll still be, real. We're still going to have fun. It's just we're going to tackle this a different way. We are going to, in the near future, implement a members only, like a page, a members only experience where people who subscribe, those of you who choose to subscribe, you will get, we're really talking a lot more about this, but the possibility is, I have my notes here on my handy dandy book. Mm-hmm. Boom, right there. I'm all organized and shit. So we are talking about doing like members only blog posts, which the members only blog posts will discuss pretty much anything we choose to discuss, and it's going to be more catered towards our subscribers. It's going to be it could be formula, spells, how-tos, very specific information. We will also incorporate a monthly herb profile, so we'll talk about a specific herb, its magical uses, its other uses. We'll incorporate possibly like some charms with that herb, just depends. A divination profile, which obviously is kind of self-explanatory. We're going to talk about crystals, some witchy and conjure tips. Each month we will share a formula or a spell. It just depends on what is decided for that month. And it doesn't stop there. You also will receive 4 hours, so that's like an hour each week. All right, 4 hours of 4 hours of personal, and this is like for everyone as a group, as a subscribers. 4 hours of personal time with us. So we will have a show that's 1 hour in length, that's specific to our subscribers. So you will have the chance to even get on here with us if you like and discuss like a situation which you might need help with. We'll take one of those, possibly, we haven't decided yet, one of those per show or one of those per month. It's still something that's
well, that would be like a private show where we would have the person come on video chat.
And you're only with us and other members. You're not going to be in the public. So this is only for people who are going to be subscribing to that. So don't think that, and if you don't feel comfortable with being on here, talking, discussing, you can, depending on how we do it, you can send in the question, and we will discuss it, and we will share with you what we what we have to say. So you'll definitely do that, which means that the free show, because honestly, y'all, and we give so much of our free time away to this, which is, we love, it's our passion. It's what we're going to continue to do, but we also have to be smart. We have to take care of ourselves. We can't drain ourselves out. We can't really it's just, we can't do that. We have to think of the future and our families. So we will have to cut back on this show that we do. It'll be an hour in length, and then right after this show is when the members only show will happen. So it'll still be a 2-hour show. You'll still get that 1 hour free access, and then you get the more personalized experience afterwards.
Right, and what we're thinking about right now is the first hour will be more informational and maybe our opinions on whatever the topic is, and the second hour will be more of how to actually deal with it, more of the nitty gritty, the spell work, the different things that you can do, the different, you know, ways that you can manipulate a situation. So it'll be basically this kind of just cut in half into two separate parts. So there'll still be that free show, but the people who subscribe to the members club will get a little bit extra.
Yeah, and it's not going to be. I mean, we do the 2 hour show now, and it's not going to be the same. So you're going to get more from us on the
Right.
second
Because
part.
we, believe it or not, we hold back.
We hold back a lot.
We hold back a lot when we do these shows. So by doing this way, we can give a lot more information, have more interaction, more personalization with people.
Yeah, and we do share a lot of information here, but like I said, we tend to keep other things closer to home, and we don't share. There's just so much information that we can share, and we choose wisely. So if you are part of the subscription, part of the members only group, club, whatever, you will get more from us because you will be able to sort of almost dictate what each show may be about. You will be able to ask us more questions and get like direct answers. So you won't have to deal with like all these other people. You will be, you will take precedence. You will take, you'll be on the front line. So there's a lot that we are planning, and it's gonna be fun because, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure I've shared my vision. I'm not gonna share the full thing, but we have, it's not me, Deviant Witchery. Deviant Witchery is not just Blythe and I.
No, it's not.
Witchery, we founded it, we created it. This is our child in a sense. But Deviant Witchery contains, can't count on my fingers today, four amazing individuals. We have Scarlet, we have Nimbus, we have Blythe, and myself. Hey. So
and we can't do, like, tonight the other two have different obligations, so we're still trucking, but it really does not feel the same without them being here and without the discussion between the four of us.
No, it feels kind of weird, but we do what we have to do because we enjoy talking with y'all. We enjoy providing the information that we do. So don't think when I say Deviant Witchery, when I say me, my, whatever, I mean all four of us. This is our experience. This is what we have to offer you, and you're going to see a lot more from us in the future. And my vision is to create like a witch said, like a Deviant Witch said, somewhere, and it will be like a haven, and it'll be a retreat, and it'll be a place where people can come and learn. There's just so much that I have envisioned, and I see happening. It's just going to take time, and we have to play it smart. And that's why, and we're honest, like that's why we are expressing this to you now, because we're not going to try and lie about it or try and like beg for anything. We're trying to be, we're legit, and we're going to express to you exactly how we see things. We're going to express to you how it is. And that's just, and if you have questions, you can definitely ask us. And we don't have like secrets. We don't have issues with explaining ourselves or explaining certain things that you might need clarity on.
Yeah, we have a couple secrets.
Oh, well. So yeah, look at my cup. You see it?
I did see it. I think that's awesome.
Drink up, witches. So, okay. The Spirit Witch, which you should check her out on Facebook, has asked us, will you be putting a price to subscriptions, and will it be annually or monthly subscriptions if it is? So we still have to talk about this. The pricing, we will definitely do probably monthly, and then maybe quarterly and yearly. There'll be three options. Pricing, we have not worked out yet. But for sure, this first year is going to be probably the best deal that you'll ever get. Um, and the way that we're considering it is like if you subscribe this year, then your that price that you pay, no matter what you choose to subscribe, uh, will be set for the next 2, possibly 3 years. It's not going to be a lifetime thing because you know how things like cost of living, all that stuff goes up. So
Yeah.
we're not going to say that it's going to be that forever. But you will definitely get in at that, freaking cheap, like freaking steal of a price for either 2 or 3 years. It's still something that we have to work on, but that's what we know right now. Um, it's just going to be fun. Like I'm excited.
It is going to be fun, and I'm can't wait to get more in depth with some of our peoples.
I know because it makes it
Talking,
more.
I feel like we'll be talking more with them instead of like at them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that being said, why don't we actually start talking about what we were here to talk about? Did I leave anything out? I don't think I did.
No, I don't think there was anything else that we had to talk about to get out of the way early.
So, okay, let's talk about because I've actually had a lot of people, a lot of like, students or past students, and people nervous about coming out of, and I don't really like the broom closet, but that's what people like understand. So coming out of the broom closet, if you should, why you should, what it means. I have a lot of people who have asked about that in the past, like, so that is definitely something we can talk about. I remember like my first, it's so embarrassing. When I was what, like 10, 11? 10 or 11. I mean, I started practicing when I was like 10, but I can't remember when I actually had the conversation with my mama. I'm pretty sure it was like possibly 11, maybe later. I don't know. I was so young and it was a while. I tried like having that conversation because like I'm tired of having to like hide certain things, and it feels different when you have to hide something. It's not always a good different either, because when you have to like sneak around or you have to like try and steal some shit from the cupboards, whatever, and they're like, where did my cinnamon spice go, where did my pumpkin spice go, I don't know, wasn't me, where's the bay leaves, I don't know. It wasn't me.
Where's my cast iron pot?
Yeah. What is that nasty looking stuff in the fridge? I don't know. Don't touch it though.
Don't drink it. And then that frozen jar you see in the back of the freezer, leave that there too, please.
Right. Or why is Grandpa why is he digging over there? Can you tell him not to dig right there? I don't need people to be digging right there, like.
That's funny. That reminds me, when I was at Hexfest, Starcast bought this house, and she said that the last woman, she figured out the last woman that lived there was a conjure worker too, because her son tried to help her out and put in a pond in the yard, and they found a whole bunch of old tin cans that were buried.
That's funny.
So yeah.
But yeah, I remember like distinctly. I was in the car. We were coming back from town shopping, and I was trying to freaking tell her. Like, I was trying to figure out the freaking right words. Nothing was working. She's like, what? And I was like, I'm a fucking witch. No, you're not. Yeah, I am. And that's like the worst thing really you could do is just say, I'm a witch. Especially to someone that doesn't really understand. They're like, what? You're and my people are like really Christian, so they're like, what? No, it's not like you're just making it up, it's fake. They're just like, no, that's not possible. Like, bring that shit into the house. So that was like the first time I came out of the broom closet, and that didn't go so well. And I remember, I don't remember how long after, but mostly my mom, because she raised me. My dad was working, blah blah blah. Who cares? But she sent me to live for like the summer, not like forever. She sent me to live with my aunt, who was like uber Christian, to change me, to fix me. So I got sent to like Christian freaking crazy camp to get saved.
Did it work?
They made me read like these damn books, like a divine revelation of hell. And if anyone ever reads those books, that shit will scare anyone. I don't care who the fuck you are. You can be freaking pagan forever. That shit will scare you. Like fucking flesh being melted off, like in the second fucking level of hell, all the deep ass holes and the lakes and shit. Whew, ain't nobody have time for that. Whew, that is crazy. So it didn't work because when I was there, I started using the Bible for divination. A witch gets bored, you know? You don't got your books? Whatever. You use the Bible. Haha. Trying to tell me I'm not a witch now. But yeah, I had to go to like freaking church service, and that shit is boring as fuck. I'm not even joking. That shit is boring. For those people who love it and get something from it, yay for you, not for me. Oh shit, my things. Hold on. But I thought I plugged this damn thing in. All right.
What happens when you're live?
So, but yeah, so I got sent there, got, saved, hallelujah. But I really didn't. But I did say that I wanted to change because I was young and my parents like were scared and I didn't want to disappoint them and all this other bullshit. And so I did. Well, when I came home, all my books, all my tools, my cards, everything that I owned was tossed out. Mm-hmm. I even collected like Magic the Gathering cards. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but like all that shit was gone too. So there was that. That was like my first experience, and then like, okay, whatever. I'll pretend to be Jesus loving Mexican. I don't care. So that was my first experience. My second experience was along the same lines. Well, I started, investing again. Got all my shit thrown away again, except there was a Bible. And this kind of makes me feel a little bad, but I kind of laugh at the same time. So she threw all my shit out and left the Bible there. Well, she was on the couch, and I was so young, and I was heated. And I was like, if you want to take all of me, if you want to take a piece of me, why don't you take all of me? And I checked the fucking Bible at her. It didn't hit her in the head, don't worry. But I checked the Bible at her. I was like, this is bullshit, and I'm done. Well, the third time around, nothing's changed. Like, no one's taking my shit. It's fine. So when you want to come out of the broom closet, if you're still at home, I'm not going to tell you to lie to your family because I'm not going to tell you to lie, but you really have to choose wisely how you share and how you express yourself. And if you're not able to have books, if you're not able to have certain things, that doesn't mean you can't practice. That doesn't mean you don't respect the house that you're in. But I'm trying to be like PC and trying to be all good and shit. Because I did the exact opposite. I still brought that into my house because that's who I am. This is me. You can't change that. But you still have to be a little bit mindful of the environment that you're in.
I mean, I think that, a lot of people maybe start getting interested, usually not at 10. I want to say maybe a little bit older, 14, 15, 16. And they have their parents or whoever they live with opposes it, whoever it is. And I think you do have to be respectful of the people that live in your house and the people that are supporting you and everything else, the people that are feeding you and clothing you and everything else. I think that your goal should be to move out as quickly as you are able to and be able to do everything, on your own. That should be our goal as human beings anyway. But I think the real ultimate freedom is being able to provide for yourself and to do things, you know, for yourself. My own coming out stories, I had told a friend of mine that I've been friends with forever that I was pagan, which was the word that I had used, and she kind of looked at me. She was hungover that day too. She kind of looked at me a little weird, and then she goes, "Is it that witch thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." And she goes, "Okay." And that was the end of the conversation. She changed the subject. And the next day we talked about it a little bit more. And she goes, "You've always been into tarot cards. You've always been into astrology." And the same thing kind of happened with my cousin. And my cousin she kind of irritated me because I was texting with her. And I was like, yeah. And at this point, I already realized that I was not Wiccan.
Right.
So I was like, I'm like, if you want to find out about it, look up Wicca. I'm kind of like that. Those are not my beliefs. And she's like, it's okay. I dated a Wiccan. I'm like, you've got me talking for like an hour trying to explain this shit to you, and you already know what's going on. And she's funny too because she comes to me with dreams at least once a year or whatever it is. And I'm not a dream interpreter, but it's just really funny. And when I had finally told her, I was like, what made you always come to me with your dreams before I told you I was pagan? She's like, you were just always into that kind of stuff. So for me, it was kind of always there, but it wasn't until I was older, I was in my 20s, where I actually started really practicing and being comfortable. And then for me to come out to my parents, I needed a babysitter because I wanted to go to the rituals and things, and I was not comfortable with bringing actually they didn't allow kids at that time. Now 3 years later, we just came back from a Mabon ritual and I brought my kids with me. So we've been able to form that community, and they behave for the most part and everything. So that was a little bit different too, because I had to play it off as the Wiccan thing. And my stepmother kept calling it the Wiccan thing. And even though she was Catholic, she had a cousin who became Wiccan. So I was like, okay, if that is how it works in your head, then that's perfectly fine. Just stay out of my house because you'll not find Wiccan things in my house.
No.
But like I've had my father's come in my apartment because he owns the house I live in actually, and he doesn't say anything, and I don't know. They don't really say anything.
Yeah, and the reason that we start with like coming out the broom closet is because in order to be confident in your practice, you kind of have to learn to be comfortable where you are, and that's either stepping out of that damn closet or being comfortable in it and not feeling guilty about being in it.
Right, because once you're confident with who you are, you're confident in your actual practice. So if you're able to talk with your family or your friends or other people, just speak out loud with it, that are on the same wavelength as you feel more confident in yourself. When you have that fear and that disapproval, I think it plays into your practice as well. And yeah, always try to, even if your family does not approve, always try to find somebody who you can talk. It's different. I mean, I am more solitary, but it's so much different when you're actually around people and speaking with people about things, and you're not looked at as the weird one.
Right.
It's a completely different feeling if you can go to any kind of gathering or group, or I highly recommend it.
It's fun. I remember like one of my my best friends in high school, the whole freshman year that I actually kind of went. I don't know how I got onto the subject, but found out that she was also sort of, she was also into what I'm into. For me, it was more of like a way of life. For her, it was just like, oh, cool, fun. At that time, where it became something more later on. But I remember because I lived so close to the school, so we would always like walk to my house for lunch and sometimes not go back. But I remember having a friend, and we were talking. I don't know how it got on the subject, but we were talking about witchcraft. We were talking about what we could what we would work on or what we would is possible. And she didn't even care. Like, she was like, oh, whatever. Can you get me NSYNC tickets? Like, can you get me NSYNC tickets? And can you like make them like be in front of me? And we're just like, the fuck you want NSYNC tickets for? What the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck? Really? No. And if I could, no. Top ramen head, like Justin Timberlake, yellow hair, no. Mm-mm. No.
I recently saw Nick Carter on Dancing with the Stars, and he actually got kind of hot.
Oh,
Now
really?
that he's all actually grown up, yeah. But anyways.
But I've never really. Oh, but I did in high school. I had a Bible thrown at me, and I was spit at because I was like the devil worshiper for a second, I guess. I had a horrible high school experience, but I did have, and it was like one of those like little orange Bibles, and I look back on it and I kind of laugh because I'm like, you threw a damn orange ass Bible at me. Like, what the hell is that gonna do? Gonna save you? Like, it's like orange and it's tiny and ew. But so a lot of people have issues, and sometimes not coming out of the broom closet is like a safety thing, because there are people, depending on where you live, where it's a little more harsh if you do step into that. Even if you are confident in your practice, sometimes it's more of a safety thing, whether it's at work, which my work could care less. You know, if it's just in the environment that you're in, sometimes it's not a smart thing to do. So you have to really practice discernment there, and you have to like ask yourself if it is worth it,
right,
to step out of that closet, and understand that just because you're not out of the closet in a public setting does not take any power away from you. I've found that some people, when they think that they're like in the broom closet, they feel guilty, they feel bad, they don't feel as empowered. Where, yes, being in public, being like out and proud, it does have a form of empowerment, but just because you're not, it doesn't mean that you're any less powerful. You just have to be comfortable and own that energy.
I think you need to own yourself in general. Like, I can use my own work as an example. I've been working with these particular people that I work with for about 4 or 5 years. And they all know that I'm very passionate about anything that I speak about, any topic that comes up. If I know something about it, I'm very passionate about it. And I have had people out of nowhere a couple of years ago ask me what I thought about gay rights. And then he started, equal marriage. And then he started talking about the Bible. And I got so upset. I was literally this close to saying Jesus was a witch. And one of my coworkers who knows and knew what was happening going on, she grabbed me and like pulled me back. She's like, calm me down. But a lot of people that I work with are a little bit conservative, and they are on the Christian side. But the ones that I particularly work with, they understand that my views may be a little bit different from theirs. And actually, this is funny because last night we were talking about the Pope. We were talking about Kim Davis. We were talking about equal marriage rights. We were talking about abortion. All the topics you're not supposed to talk about at work.
Right.
We're talking about them all. And because my belief is basically let people do what they will do with their own selves, and it's nobody else's business of what they should do with their own body. And not everybody gets that. A lot of people like to dictate, and I think they feel powerful when they try to tell somebody else what to do. And these organizations, political organizations, religious organizations, they feel powerful when they tell other people what they should believe.
Right.
So
when dealing with like work and friends, like some people are like, I'm not gonna tell anyone. Like, I don't want to tell shit. And some people are like, I gotta tell the fucking postman. Like, I gotta tell everybody. So if the subject comes up and you are comfortable with where you are in your practice, then respond in a way that is going to kind of put the feelers out. Respond in a way that might be acceptable to the situation.
And be respectful too. I mean, it kind of goes both ways. Don't start cursing your coworkers because they're looking at you crooked. That was funny because when people started, some people were actually afraid to get me mad, and I'm like, dude, you can get me mad because I just get mad because that's the person I am. I had more of a temper issue. I'm not going to turn around and do things just because you're pissing me off that day. That's not how I personally work. I don't turn around and curse everybody. I might stick you in the sugar jar so you're a little nicer to me, but I'm not going to do anything negative to you like that. To me, it doesn't warrant that. But yeah, this one guy I work with, he's from the South. He was born in Georgia, and he asked me out of nowhere. He goes, "Are you a root worker?" And I said, "Yes." And he was surprised I even knew what it was. Why would you do that? I said, because it works. And so we talked about it a little bit, but people don't really get it.
I'm supposed to say hi, Todd. Change your motherfucking Google profile picture because that shit is not right. Sorry, I'm keeping track of
hi, Todd. Change your motherfucking Google picture.
It's not right. So, hello, Todd. But when you are, just fill it out. You don't have to share with everyone if you don't want to, but don't. And when you do share with people, this is going to be really hard, but expect to get looked at differently, expect to get attacked or talked down to because people don't understand and don't take offense to it. If you're going to be offended by someone saying something negative to you or something stereotypical to you, then don't come out and say anything because they will. So
well, they will. One of the things that bothers me is about one of the people is he'll make a joke about me being a witch, but he kind of uses it in the bitch way. Like, and I know what he's saying, and he knows I know what he's saying, but I don't like the fact that other people spread it around too. So you have to be able to be comfortable with talking to people about that, people that you work with or maybe your friends, if you only want certain people to know or family members, to not make a joke of it and to not start telling other people because it really isn't any of their business. I think that is important too. You have to be comfortable with talking to people.
Yes, you do have to be comfortable with all that shit, which kind of leads into confidence because I have coworkers that know I'm not like I don't hide it, but I'm not like freaking wearing like a fucking pointy ass hat and I don't know carrying around Florida water with me and I don't know. I'm just not like I don't advertise all the time, but my coworkers know, and so when they talk to people, depending on the conversation, they will say something. And I had this one customer of mine. She comes up and she freaking throws her fucking hands and like her hands in my face, and I'm like, "What do you want?" Like I wasn't even in that mode. I was not thinking. I didn't know what. She just threw her goddamn hands. That's like my word of the week. I don't know why. I can't stop saying goddamn. I don't know why, but it is. I like it. So she throws her damn hands in my face, and I'm like, "You need lotion? Because we got lotion. Like, what do you want?" She's like, read me. And I'm like, what the hell you want me to read you for? Like, I don't read palms. I don't know the damn lines. Like, I don't either. I read the cards. Oh, well, your coworker, blah, 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 blah. Well, my coworker is misinformed. And I did read for my coworker, and I freaked her out because I basically told her the future, and I really don't like doing that, but what was in the cards is what was in the cards, and that's what I expressed. And so she was like really impressed because I got onto a lot of things, and then like a year later, everything that I said like in full, like it happened exactly the way I said it would. And so she was like telling everyone. I'm like, thanks. And that at first it kind of freaked me out because I didn't want people knowing. Like all the people that come in, like I don't want to be looked at a certain way, but then I'm like, I'm okay with it. Like I'm fine. And that gave me the confidence to start, being a little more public about who and what I am.
That's kind of how like tarot cards is kind of a way that it happened too, because before the lady had retired, I would read her cards. She wanted to love reading like once a month, which was a whole nother story. And then another coworker came up to me and got a reading. And then there's somebody else that gets a reading in the past 2 years has asked me for 3 readings. And that's another thing too, is if you're doing readings for coworkers, don't talk about that shit. That is that client confidentiality thing. I will talk about the reading with a specific person, and I will tell people I worked with, yes, I have read cards, and they have paid me for people that have worked here, but I've never said their name, and I've never said anything about the reading at all. the reading has gone to their personal email box, and then that's it. And they'll ask me if I got it or if I did it, and it's kind of concerned to kind of like a little code. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, it's in your email, and it's personal. It's not something that, and I've never talked about it. People don't know, if they decide to spread the word, that's up to them, and that's fine, and I'll do more readings for more people. That's cool, but it's not me. I'm not going to talk about, hey, so and so did, and this is what's going on, because I did the reading. And I know that's, you have to be, it's just like anything. And with your friends too, I don't really read for a lot of my friends, but if with your friends too, don't start talking shit. I mean, it's up to them. That's why
Yeah.
I do my readings on video, and I'll say, this is your unlisted link. If you want to share it with somebody, go ahead, but I'm not going to, because it's not my business anymore.
Right. So lately, and I believe with my students, and I'm not going to name names because it doesn't matter. This happens with students in general, with anyone in general, really, when you're around a lot of people who practice and they share what they get. But how am I going to word this? Did you write it down? I don't
What?
remember. But I'm trying to figure out how to word what.
Are you talking about the abilities?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
okay, so with my students, like, they've had, like, when you have a group of people and you're training them a certain way, some people will have, everyone has their own strengths and their own challenges, and some people have certain things that they're better able to do than others at the current time. The main thing, like the most that people want right off the bat, is to see shit.
Right.
You know, it's like you can validate it supposedly, because even when you see shit, it doesn't mean that's like really what you're seeing. You fucking see fucking slime shit over there. It doesn't mean that, like, that's not validation, because that's not supposed to be there. So that can make you think you're crazy. But you know, so people, they feel like all they want to do at first is see, because seeing is believing, and if they can just see something, then it is real. But the problem here, and this is where this is what creates like lack of confidence, is when you have this student or this person, this witch, who has a strength in feeling, in knowing. They have claircognizance or they have clairsentience, where this witch has clairaudience and, clairvoyance. They see and they hear. This one, they feel and they know. This one wants what this one has, because this one is like on it. This one sees it. This one's going, they're doing all this shit and they see it, and it's so cool. This one is neglecting their beauty, their strengths. This one is neglecting that they have a very powerful skill. They have a very powerful ability. I have claircognizance, and I would not change that for the world. Like, they just know, and it's great information, and they feel, and they can connect that feeling with that knowing, and they get amazing information. But they're so caught up in trying to get, like, they want to see.
Right. The knowing is the easiest thing to discredit yourself for.
Yeah.
Not other people. I'm a knower, and I'm a hearer sometimes, more so when I'm doing my readings. Very rarely do I see. I've gotten flashes, and I was like, whoa, like it's shocked the crap out of me, because I never expected it. The point of this whole rant, though, is work on what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Once you work on what you have and you perfect it, you can't perfect it. Once you work on what you have and become more confident, your other abilities will also come out. That's what happened with me. Once I was comfortable with knowing, I started hearing during readings, and then you start to see, is how it worked with me. It might work in different fashion for you. But once you get more comfortable and you work on it, and you trust it. You have to trust it.
Right. And I've always and that's kind of what I'm trying to get across, like what I'm trying to teach is embrace your dominant senses, embrace your skills. Yes, I understand that you want to see. Yes, I understand that people want to see. But if you're just knowing, or if you're feeling something, you need to focus on those and let that energy, let that information be filtered through that, because that's when you're going to like rise to the occasion. That's when you embrace that. When you step into that energy, when you step into that aspect of yourself, you become far more powerful. You become far more confident. And then when you're in that confidence, you keep building it. You're stronger. You know, you're having fun. You're believing more in yourself. And then when you step into that, that's when, like you said, that's when the other things start to come in. Okay, you feel so good about where you are. You have your, you know, claircognizance, you have your clairsentience, and now since you've worked at it, you developed it like more. Clairvoyance is coming in because now you have another thing that, since this isn't such a challenge for you, you have something else that can come in because you're ready for it. So that builds confidence. To have confidence in your witchcraft, you have to honor yourself. You have to honor your strengths and not want what other people have. I mean, it's okay to desire a new skill. It's okay to desire, you know, something else, but you need to focus on what is you, what your strengths are. And then when you know, perfect those, like when you intensify those, enhance those, everything else will start to fall into place. But it's not going to happen if you neglect what you already have.
And sometimes just because you want something doesn't mean you're ready for it. You could want something, but there may be some kind of blockage that is there that is preventing it. So you kind of have to work through it brick by brick by brick. A lot of people want to be rich and famous, but they're not ready to do the work that it is to get there, or they want to be able to see, but there is still that a little bit of fear that is holding them back of what are they exactly going to see. So are they going to see the past? Are they going to see the future? I actually know a girl who does that, what's that shit called? The remote viewing. She does it backwards though.
It's fun.
She does it backwards. It's how it works for her. I don't know, but she says she sees it like backwards. Like she doesn't see like the past or the future. She'll see from the future back.
Oh.
So I don't know. She also can read minds too, which is really fucking scary.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a great person, but you know, she starts reading your mind, you gotta walk away from her.
Get the fuck out. I would probably think of something so dirty that she'd probably run.
No, this girl would never run by anything dirty. She would.
Well, that's rude.
She would love it.
Like, oh yeah, let's go. But and another example is, I have a student who, and I'm talking about my students, yes, but I'm not naming names. So, anyways, I have a student who, all the students I have, I see potential in, and I chose them for a reason, and they belong where they are, as long as they choose for it. This one student, I see her going really far, and I knew how psychic she was, but I don't feel like she saw it in the beginning. The more she started doing the exercises that, you know, I have for them, the more she started practicing them, and then we worked through a specific, like she had a blockage that was preventing her from actually getting forward. I helped her to help herself. I helped her work through that blockage. And after that, like, it just opened the gates. And she has been reading and she has been picking up on stuff like crazy. Like, she's done that before, but like lately, like after that, it just intensified. And it's like just boom, 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 like building and building. And it's amazing for her. Like, that shit happens. That builds confidence. I see confidence in her now. Like, before, she reminded me a lot of someone I know, and kind of timid, but not really timid. Like, they have that fire, they have that strength, they have that, you know, confidence in them, but they don't know how to express it, and they didn't have like the nurturing or the there's a word. They didn't have anyone helping them to bring it out in them, and so when we worked on that, I saw her like confidence peak. Like, it really did. And now it's just amazing. So, sorry, dry mouth. So she started building, like I said, she started building that confidence, and she's doing more. Like, she's excited to be able to do what she's doing now. And she like has more hope because like she worked through this block, And now after working through it, she got like so much more. Like she got this like almost as like attunement of sorts where she is open to so much more. She can do more. So it's like, okay, if I'm can do that now, what else can I do? Like if there's another block coming, if I hit another block, I'll just work through it, because after that block, there is like going to be some huge and amazing, take back. Um, and so that's awesome. Like, so that helps you step into confidence by working through your blocks and honoring them and facing them. So there are others who see what she does, who are not necessarily where she is right now because they have their own blocks to work through, who are, I feel, can, and this happens anywhere. So I'm not just talking about my students, I'm talking about like just dynamics. They see someone doing this and they want it. And a part of them is like happy for this person who does this. A part of them might be like, I'm kind of jealous because I want that for myself. I want to be able to do it. I'm not jealous because she's doing good. I'm jealous because I'm not there.
And I've felt that quite a few times.
And it does. And I'm not going to say I've not done that. Like, I think that's natural. But when you start seeing things as challenges that you can work through, and instead of being jealous of someone for a long time, or just, having that like resentment or having that just weird issue that you're like, you want that, you can have that for yourself. You have to just face yourself. You have to face your blocks. You work through them, and when you come out of them, you have more to experience. You have more skills. You have more to benefit from.
Use it as a motivation. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it get you into a funk. Use it as a motivation to try harder and to be stronger and do more.
Okay, so someone asked, when you see images and feel off balance, what else can you do to stay grounded? My hematite rings never last. Hematite rings do not last. That shit breaks like crazy. I want a hematite ring.
Feel off balance how? Emotionally, physically? Because I think there's a little bit of a difference. I'm guessing it could go either way when you see images. Learn how to ground yourself without anything. Learn how to ground yourself with yourself. Yeah. Because you're going to be in a situation where you may not have anything. You can ground yourself with a rock on the ground, a regular rock. It's still a part of the earth. It also depends on your element. Some people ground in water. Some people ground it with fire or with air. I don't know if you can clarify how you would feel off balance. If it's an emotional thing, I mean, I like to use black tourmaline for people. Everybody should know that. For dealing with people. For images, I'm not quite sure about that one. You feel dizzy? So it's more of a physical response. I would try to earth.
Yeah, and I guess it just also depends on the images and how you filter them through. But if you're doing any sort of psychic work, you should be grounded already. And if you're getting dizzy from like the stuff that's coming forth, sorry, excuse me, shit, I'm gonna choke over here. If you're getting dizzy from that information, then that tells me that most likely you need to really perfect your grounding. You can't just rely on like crystals to ground yourself. You have to ground yourself. Like you have to do that without tools. And so because that will help strengthen your connection to the earth. A way you can ground is to just feel yourself like stand tall, stand strong, and focus on your breathing, and focus on your feet, feel the earth beneath your feet, feel what is beneath the earth, feel that energy, become that energy, and then bring that awareness up into you and focus on your, focus it coming up, focus on your third eye, outstretch your hands, focus on the energy around you, focus on the sky, focus on the heavens, pull that energy in, become that energy. That will help you keep, aware and in your body. But make sure that you pull up earth energy, connect to the earth first before you connect to the energy above.
So if you're doing it on purpose, that's what you definitely want to work on your grounding before you do it. If it happens by accident, if it happens by accident, I would work on your shielding. And I would think that crystals would help as a preventative measure, but I would keep black tourmaline in my pocket if I was going to a concert, and that would help strengthen my shields, and that would be more preventative. But if somebody were to push me with psychic energy, I would still have to do the work to actually ground it out and to dispel it and get rid of it.
Yeah, I would still say you need to focus on grounding, because if things are making you physically dizzy, and it's nothing like, medical, we're not doctors, we can't do anything like that. But if it is spiritual, if something's making you dizzy because you get visions and stuff, then you still need to make sure that you are firmly grounded, because when that information comes to you, it's not going to like throw you off balance like that over here, up there. When you are firmly grounded, stuff comes at you, it goes through you. And when you receive information, make sure to breathe it through. So allow it to come through you. Don't like hold it anywhere unless you're gonna hold it in a certain place for a while, but make sure to allow that information to just sort of like go through you. Another thing is, if you are extremely psychic, and this is my personal thing, make sure to drink lots of water, because water helps information to move throughout the body. It helps psychic energy to move with ease and grace. So if you aren't getting enough water in your system, and you have all these visions, or if you have these psychic experiences, it might not be going anywhere, which could be a reason. Like, you might be holding it on in your body somewhere. It could be a reason why you're feeling the way you feel. But definitely, I would say work on that grounding.
Yeah, if I'm at work and all of a sudden I feel really dizzy, I have some pushy people I work with. Their energy sometimes gets a little overwhelming for me, and especially if everybody's pissed off about something. I will just relax and close my eyes and just focus on myself. Now, I work in a building. I work in a building with a lot of machines and a lot of people, and I'm not on the bottom floor, and I'm not obviously outside. And I will just push through all those layers and through the basement and into the actual earth. Just because you're not outside doesn't mean you can't ground with your grounding cord or your roots or however it is that you do it. You just have to imagine those roots pushing through all the buildings and whatever else that's underneath you. I mean, you can still ground when you're in the freaking Empire State Building or wherever you're at,
right.
with the earth itself instead of, like the sky. But yeah, you just have to push through all of that, and it takes a little bit more focus, but it's not that hard to do, and it only takes me a minute or so. But I do, a lot of times I get knocked off balance at work, and I don't have anything, because we're not supposed to have anything.
Right.
We're not allowed to wear jewelry. We're not allowed to wear anything. So you have to do it yourself.
Another thing is, if you're being thrown off by psychic information, which happens, like you said, like you pick up on something and it's just like, oh wow, then you really do just need to follow it. Like, take a minute, ground, and focus on like that energy, that information that's coming to you, because sometimes if you neglect, or if you don't even like honor the information that's coming to you, it will intensify like the dizzy spell. It will intensify something, especially if it's something you need to know. It might intensify those feelings until you actually just honor it and you face it. People want to know how to become, like, I get asked this a lot, like, how do I, and I'm not, hopefully this doesn't come off like conceited or cocky or anything like that, but I have a lot of people who ask, like, how can they become as confident as I am? And I don't really feel like I'm like that confident, But how can they become confident in their practice like I am? Like, because that's what they want. Like, they want to just feel like they know their craft. And the simple answer is to practice and study, like research and practice and experience.
Right. And there's so many different, I don't think we're not meant to truly know the craft 100%. There's so many different traditions, and you have your own backgrounds that you're interested in nationalities or cultures. We'll say cultures. It's, you can't know everything. It's so hard to admit that, but you can't know everything. You can't do everything. That's why we try to say focus on your strengths. And I like how you said your challenges and not weaknesses earlier. I like that. I liked how you said that. I did pick that up.
Using weakness, because I don't feel like anything's truly a weakness.
Right.
I feel, and especially if you talk to people and you say weakness, they feel even more low about themselves. So if you say a challenge is something that can be overcome. So it gives them that, like, okay, it's a challenge. I can get over it. Like, I can work through it. I can find. So that's, I try my best to always refer to it as a challenge, to help with moving through those things.
Become more confident. Have a better relationship with. I mean, I can't, like. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Have a better relationship with your land, with your house, with your deities, with your spirits. Meditate. Now, meditation is a big roadblock for a lot of people, myself included. Meditation can take 5 minutes and just sit and be and try to clear all the shit out. I usually just ground during the meditation and try to clear everything out. Drink your water, cleanse your chakras, play with your crystals, do what you need to do. Everybody's a little bit different.
Everyone is. And again, I'm going to refer to my students because I can. What are they going to do? No, it really stood out to me because this morning I was talking with my students, and one of them was like, you guys, because I said something, and one of them was like, you guys, I have like 100 different kids. She doesn't have 100. It's like, I can't remember, like 3 or 4. I have a husband. I do all these damn things. Like, I make time for the practice. I make time to make sure that I get everything done, and she does, and you can see it in her energy. Like, and I told him, like, I can pay attention to every energy that's going on around here. I know when someone's practicing. I know when you're not practicing, and it's fine. But I need everyone to be on the same page. So in order for us to progress, you have to have a strong foundation. In order for you to be confident in your practice, you have to make sure your foundation is legit. And she was just like, I make sure, someone goes to sleep, make sure that, I have that time. I might be tired, but I make sure to stay up enough to do what I need to do. And I feel better afterwards. And that is just the truth. And you see it in her energy. You see it in her because she's making the time to get it done. And you can see her confidence and her power grow.
Right. And practicing every day could be pulling out one tarot card and looking at it for a couple minutes and trying to get your psychic impressions on it. It could be you could be driving to work and just talk to whoever, talk to the universe, talk to your gods, talk to your spirits. Make sure you're focused on driving if you are doing it while you're driving. And, if you got somebody in your passenger seat, you may not want to say it out loud, but, just do that communication, do that prayer, that communication before bed or after you wake up. You incorporate it into your shower time, your bath time.
Yeah, there honestly is no room for excuses. There's none. There's not.
And people get upset when we talk about that, but it's the truth because people say, "Oh, I'm so busy," and I'm like, "Listen, I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I work nights. I do this. I have the 2 businesses I'm running. We were writing the book. We're doing this," and I'm like, "Really?"
Right. I know, and I'm the same way. I'm like, look, I work 6 days a week. The only day I have off, I'm still working because I have like 100 different businesses. I have people I have to get to. I might be behind. I got to get caught up, blah, blah, blah. I do this. I'm like, I still make time because it's important to me. This is who I am. And if you want to be strong, if you want to step into that space of confidence, and you want to, promote that when you interact with people, you have to make time. You have to practice, because if you don't practice your craft, how are you going to be confident in what you do? Because if you don't keep doing and getting better at it, perfecting your skills and enhancing them and doing more, how can you be confident? You can't. So you have to just practice. Like,
you kind of have to fit things. Like, I'll tell you what happened today. So sometime this week, I was like, Friday, I want to get a pedicure on Friday. And I was also like, I want to go to the cemetery at some point this week. Now, my kids get on the bus by 8:30. Now, the place I get my nails done, they didn't open until 9:30. That's a whole hour. You use that hour. I could have taken a nap for the hour because I work at night, but I didn't. I went to the post office. I had to mail something. I went to the grocery store. I picked up flowers, and I went to the cemetery. I spent maybe 20 minutes there. It wasn't a whole heck of a lot of time. And then I went and did this, and I was reading a witchcraft book while I was getting my feet done. I was reading Apocalyptic Witchcraft on my Kindle when I was getting my pedicure. I mean, you can work things in. There are podcasts. There are audio books if you're driving or if you take a bus or whatever it is that you want to do. While you're working out, you can listen to a book if that's real instead of music. There's so many different ways that you can really do it.
Right. Again, there's no excuses. We have always provided different ways to get the most out of your craft, and different ways you can kind of maximize your time wherever you are.
Right. I mean, I don't really like doing spell work with the kids because I lose focus if they're awake, but I've done little healing spells for them and stuff, and we've done some confidence things, and they don't even realize it. But I tell them, I said, okay, take this candle and focus on this feeling, like this feeling of being loved and loving, and then I light the candle for them, and that's a part of spell work too. So There are things that you can do. And get your kids involved if you can. Get your partner involved if you can.
Yeah.
Go on a hike in the woods. You gotta do fucking something.
Do something, motherfuckers. No, and another trick, another working that you can do to kind of promote confidence is to go through like a tarot deck and look for a card that you feel represents you currently. Go through the deck, whatever card stands out that you feel is you at the current moment. Like, look at each card, feel it out, look at what's going on in the card, pick that card up, put it to the side, and then go back to that damn deck and look for a card that speaks to you of extreme confidence of where you want to be. Look at it, feel it, and if it feels right, if it feels like you're going to step into confidence like from this, pick that out. You have the 2. Get your candle. You can get your orange candle because orange candles open the way. They make way. They pave the damn way. So you get the orange
just like
candle.
The orange Bible.
Like the orange Bible got thrown at me. It opened the way to Jesus, and I was able to watch, and I was able to witch with the Jesus.
Wow, that was a little out of nowhere.
I can't. So you get the orange candle. Now that I think about it could happen. So get the orange candle, and then get a candle like that. So get a candle that also represents like success to you. I'm not going to tell you what color that is, but for you personally, one that you can look at a candle and you think of success. You think of where you want to be, and it aligns with that card. So do that. Light up the orange candle. It's opening the damn way. Put your card that represents where you currently are. Put it there, and then light up the candle that represents success. The candle, put the card that represents success.
You have to light up the card.
I know, what the fuck? Light it up. Burn the damn card. So over here. Oh shit. But light the candle, represent success, put the card up, and then slowly bring them together.
Right.
That's like super simple. That's like basic. That's easy.
Also, follow through with the mundane aspect. If you're trying to improve your success financially, go do what you need to do for that. If it's your health, do what you need to do for that.
Well,
Whatever it is, you do need to back it up mundanely too.
yeah, so that helps you to spiritually connect, to spiritually feel confident, bring it into, fruition. So do that. And honestly, like feeling confident, I might get shit for this. Change your diet. Eat better. And I'm not trying, like, whatever you choose to eat is what you choose to eat. I'm not going to tell you what to choose. But I know someone who is very lethargic, who is very depressing, who is very like, boo hoo, the world's out to get me. This person
Eats carbs.
Lots of damn carbs. We have
I know.
now.
Yeah.
We have Carl's Jr. We have Burger King, McDonald's, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 snacks. Like, I'm not judging what I mean. I guess I am judging, but if she wants to consume this, like, that's great. But if you're gonna complain about being depressed, about being lethargic, about not feeling good, and if you're gonna take that out and spread that energy out to others, then yes, if it comes to me, I might say something, because that eating all that food and not exercising, not doing anything for you, not drinking water, but drinking soda.
Sodas,
it weighs you down and it doesn't make you feel good, which does not give you the confidence in anything. So if you can slowly make like little changes in your diet, it doesn't have to be like stop eating out, like stop eating fast food. You don't have to do that. But if you start incorporating like healthier things that are gonna make you feel good about yourself, that will help boost the confidence in your work. So you're tackling it not just on a spiritual level, you're tackling it on a physical level as well. And when you feel good in your body, you feel good about your body, you just feel good everywhere.
And I've been there where I've eaten fast food every night of the week and sometimes during the day and for breakfast. And I just recently, over the past couple months, did and it wasn't even a complete overhaul. You just changed a little bit of things. Stop drinking soda, start drinking more water, cut out the fast food, cut out the fat and the carbs, which is hard. I have a hard time with carbs. That's how I knew it was carbs. If I'm eating a lot of carbs all the time, I get friggin' tired. Well, and it does bog me down a lot.
Yeah, and not all carbs are created equal. There are some carbs that are really good for you and some that not so much. Mm-hmm. Because we need carbs for like energy, we need carbs for like fueling us. But you just got to be wise about the type of carbs you be eating. Right. And I really hope that you don't feel that I'm like judging you or anyone, like, anyone I'm talking to right now, that I'm judging what you choose to consume, because I'm not. I'm just trying to, because I've been there and I do it now, and I still have to, tell myself that. But when you can change your body, you change your mindset, you change your physical body, you back that up also with your spiritual practice, you're telling the spirits, you're telling the gods that you actually want change, and you are doing something about it, which when you actually actively engage and actively do something about it, I'm talking so much with my hands. When you actively do something about it, you have more confidence, even if you're not where you want to be, but you actually participating in creating a change for yourself. That makes you feel, it just makes you feel good, and that boosts confidence.
Another thing is, don't use food to ground. I have noticed that people are going to get pissed off about this. A lot of pagans are overweight, and I think it is because they use food to shield themselves. What happens is when you have physical fat on your body, it acts as a shield, and you are keeping people away from you. You're keeping certain situations away from you. I think a lot of people that are highly empathetic will do that to keep people away from them so they don't have to feel their emotions as well. Do not use food to ground, or use healthy food to ground if you have to use food to ground. Use root vegetables. Like, shit that actually grows in the ground is really good for grounding. Don't start eating cake. Eat a fucking carrot. Because the carrot was grown in the ground, and it'll help you work with the ground. So instead of using food as, and this is everybody, everybody's used food as an emotional crutch when you get depressed and different things. Work on that. That could really throw your body out of whack and throw everything out of whack.
Well, even if you choose to ground with Oreos, like, don't eat the whole goddamn.
Right. Do you know now they make Oreos in 2-packs?
Oh, cute.
I bought them for my son for school. So even if you want to get the smaller ones, they used to make them in like just a 6-pack of Oreos. Now they make them in a 2-pack. So
I like that.
Get those. That's brand new.
But yeah, and I was going to say something earlier. I have a friend on Facebook. His name is Toby, or Charles, and he is very well versed in like traditional Wicca, and I look up to him for that information. Like, when he posts his stuff, you can see the confidence in his work. When he has students, and when he expresses himself, I am inspired, because I can't express myself the way he does, because I don't know what he knows. And so seeing other people step into their own confidence, because you can tell when someone knows their shit, and that's kind of why I'm saying it, because he knows his shit, he practices. That shows your confidence when you're talking about the work that you're doing.
I think a big difference is too is being around. We talked about this the other day. I forgot how you worded it, but you become the people you are around. If you're around shitty people and scumbags, that's what you will end up becoming, and you can't change people as much as we think that we can. So if you do seek out those people that are genuine and are genuinely confident and not scam artists and assholes and whatever else trying to suck energy out of people, if you find true people, you will become that. You become more comfortable with yourself, and you kind of start to I don't really want to say emulate them, but that is kind of in a way. You have to weed out your friends. You really do. And a lot of it's hard when you first start out on Facebook or on YouTube, as like a lot of people will make their pagan page or their pagan channel, and you friend everybody who has any kind of pagan anything, and you get to know these people, and you have to weed some of them out, because a lot of them are fakes, a lot of them are vampires, a lot of them
rosy cheeks, Mrs. Claus,
have the little W instead of the big W. We talked about that a little bit last week.
No.
We'll make excuses, we'll do different things, they claim this and they claim that, and they think fluffy is their familiar, stuff like that. So anyways, yeah, you can still be friends with, I'm not saying don't be friends with those people, but you have to kind of separate that out. I mean, some people are just straight up toxic.
They are, and I was like, we talk too damn much, because I was looking for that picture that said exactly what you're saying. I can't even find it.
Yeah, you stuck in the chat somewhere. But yeah, it's some people are just straight up toxic, and you have to be able to weed them out. I was friends with a girl for 20 years, and I eventually got rid of it. It took that long on and on.
Rid of it. It wasn't even a girl. She got rid of it. It was a thing.
Got rid of the relationship. It could be a 5-minute relationship. It could be a 5-year relationship if it's not doing you any good. But if it's a family member, that makes it a little bit more difficult.
Sometimes.
I recently had a situation with a family member of mine, and I don't know. My situation personally is I just have to try to stay away from that person and not engage that particular person in those kind of conversations. Your situation might be a little different. but that is what I've chosen to do, and chosen to not let him, because I have no problem saying he's a him, let him go to me, because it's kind of what he does too, and let him try to get me into these conversations and get me riled up and everything like that. Yeah, so we
Right.
both have strong personalities because we're related.
Exactly.
So it is what it is. But you have to kind of, it's like, pick your battles.
Mhm.
That is another thing you need to do. And these people that get on and anonymously and start to write negative things, they must really hate themselves to be able to hold on to that hatred and have that emotional connection with something like that where they need to spew nonsense and do it anonymously. Like, they really must hate themselves.
Well, they're probably just scared of
Or
their
they use cake to
rejection.
ground. Maybe they use cake.
Sorry, that wasn't very nice. Um, so again, if y'all have any questions, if seriously, if you have questions, ask them because we are here to answer what we can. Um, but I do like that because as you get older, because obviously I'm getting older, it happens. But as you get older, you start to realize that you appreciate the very small circle that you can trust.
Right.
And you surround yourself with these people, and your passions, your dreams, your desires, they all start to sync up with each other. And you start growing as a unit, even if you have side projects, even if you have different things in your life, you want what's best for each other. You want what's best for, their families. And when you have other people that are in your life who are like very toxic, who might be jealous, who want to take away from what you have, that energy will influence you, and you might get swept away by that. So that will sort of also attack your confidence in your decision making skills, because if this other person has enough of a hold over you, if you've been like if you've been friends like longer with this person than with this person, what this person says, even though you feel like it's not true, it still influences you. And since you have more of a history here, you might believe them. And so you might start lacking confidence in your ability to discern right from wrong, true kinship versus
Right.
jealousy bullshit.
A
Uh,
lot of people are scared of change too. If their friend, no longer needs them, a lot of people, maybe they get scared and they start saying nonsense. But if your friend, and I'm gonna say your friends, do not support you, and then they're not really your friends. I mean, unless you're like actually killing babies, because that would be a problem. That's not something that we encourage. Unless you're actually doing something to really actually harm somebody, but I totally lost my train of thought on that one. But people fear change. I've been fortunate where I never really had a lot of friends in the first place, so I didn't lose anybody along the way.
People.
But there are, when I did start becoming more friends with more pagans, I've had a lot of people come and go because they don't agree with my opinion, and that's perfectly fine. And then the same thing has happened with me. There's been a lot of people that I've unfriended or taken off my news feed or just stopped talking to, people that are locally that are full of drama, and they can't, it's just, I can't deal that. I don't care. It's not my issue. That is your issue. And you have to be strong enough to be able to step away from things like that.
And I think like how sometimes I might come across like as overly confident, and the reason for that, like the way I built my confidence was by doing what I had to do. Why By just doing what is necessary, like what witches do. We do what is necessary, and I've always had to do that. I've always had to look out for myself. I've always had to be the better person to do whatever. So I've always tried hard because I might have not excelled elsewhere in certain things, but this is my passion. This is who I am. So I've always read, I've always studied, I've always practiced, and so I've always had to be that person who knew a little more or who has more experience, so can, change things at the last minute and be fine and take care of a situation. Because people have always come to me for help no matter what. Like, I've always had people come to me to help them out. So I've always kind of had to learn to be ready at all times to provide for someone. And if, again, like I'm going to reiterate what was already said, but in order for you to really have confidence, you have to have experience. You have to have a track record. You have to build trust with yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you're not going to have confidence. How would you go about protecting yourself from sour ex-friends that you have let go? I think I know who this is because I am nosy as fuck.
If you steal their boyfriend, they'll go away. Not that I've done that or anything. No. Oh, not on purpose.
Oh, why?
Shit. Some people get really nasty when people are no longer friends with them. I would deal with the situation. Put their ass in the freezer if they start talking shit. There's so much stuff that you can do magically. You got to cut the. Well, you were talking about uprooting cords. Uproot the cords. Yeah. It really depends on how mean they get, but
I think you have to. Okay, so protecting yourself. Okay, since they were friends, you know how they would respond. So if you know that this person is gonna like freak the fuck out and they're gonna blow up on you if you try and like put them on hold, and then if they're magically inclined as well, because sometimes magically inclined people, not always, because most people are bullshitters, but those who are legit, they can feel you working against them. So if you know how they are gonna handle a situation, you need to take that into consideration, because sometimes if that relationship is sour, you can sweeten it. You can really put them in a spot where they are, they look at you, they don't want to, they're not friends with you anymore, but they're okay with that. Like you've left on good terms. So you can sweeten the situation. Another kind of bitchy way to handle it, which I probably would do it this way, is to sweeten all their circle. Sweeten their entire damn circle to you. So when they talk shit about you, all of these other people, they're on your side. They think you're like the sweetest person in the world, but I know better because you're a bitch. I'm just kidding. But seriously, if you sweeten their circle, if you sweeten the people who they're connected to, who you know that they're going to go to and talk shit to, if you can kind of get those energies, I know it's a lot of work, and it really just depends on how you want to handle it, but there are some people who will freaking tell everyone. They will try and put everyone against you, which people who are still in the same circle. If you sweeten them to you, and when you do that sweetening, I would also add something that has a little more commanding to it as well, because you kind of need that. You kind of need them to see you a certain way. So kind of a little bit of a domination work, but more of a sweetening work. So you sweeten that entire circle. So whenever, like I said, whenever that person goes to talk shit, all these people are thinking worse of them because they think you're just the sweetest person on earth. That is one tricky way you can do it in a way that's going to piss that motherfucker off. So your ex-friend is going to be like, shit, they're going to be pissed the fuck off. And another thing you could do is like, once you let that like stew, once that's like, you have that done, do that for a week or two, however, whatever you feel like this appropriate time, do that. Then you can work on the friend, like just start sweetening them a little, depending on how things go. So because you piss them off, you made them like mad, because I would do that shit, like piss them off because they're assholes, and then sweeten them to you, so they're like, oh, Okay. I would do that.
I would just stick their ass in the freezer.
But I like to do that kind of sort of thing. But
Uh,
I don't do it often.
I missed part of it because I had left to get some water. But
Uh,
I think that would be. I don't know if this was brought up, but I think that would be a good preventative. If you already know you're going to cut the person off, I would pre-sweeten the group. I don't know if you mentioned that. I would pre-sweeten the group, or
not
maybe even pre-sweeten the person. But if you're already in the midst of everything and everything is a fucking shit show, you could freeze them to cool them down. And once they get calmed down and maybe they leave you alone, you can also distract them. And see, I'm going the more malediction route. I would distract them, and then you could shut their mouth. And there's many ways to do all of those. Well, the freezer spells is pretty much just throw their ass in the freezer. But I would distract them, and then you get them to shut their mouth. And that works with a bunch of different situations.
Right. And another thing is Dorothy Morrison in her book Utterly Wicked. She has a freaking amazing, powerful, potent spell to get someone to move their ass.
Oh, yeah, that's another option too.
You can get them to. You could send them to freaking Tasmania. But seriously, you can. I've used that and it works. It just worked really well. I have to say so myself. But if she in her book there is a spell in there to really get someone to freaking move, and it works really good. So you can definitely do that. Another thing, it was there and it left. I'm trying to remember it. It's not working. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so you can get tumbleweed and chase them off. If they're running their mouth, if they're gonna kind of blow up on you, you could use tumbleweed and kind of either get a poppet and make a path of tumbleweed and kind of take your poppet and like that. I do. Okay, so you can do that, and what tumbleweed does, it makes them keep going. They don't stop moving. They can't stop moving. Their feet fucking can't talk. Their feet get fucked up. They got them blisters. It's just not cute. And they don't have time to really talk shit because they can't stop moving. They have to move. They have to keep going. So they don't have time to think about you because they're constantly on the go.
See, for me, people that are a little bit bitter or jealous, maybe I think the sweetening will work on better. The people that are truly evil and start talking stuff and try to get people turn their backs on you and start rumors, those people, I think you need to do something stronger. From my belief is doing a sweetening spell is not going to do much to them. If they really have that strong of feeling against you and they really hate you, you're not going to be able to make too much of a dent into that. And I have seen that in my own case. So, I mean, maybe somebody else you're able to apply that better, but I would distract them. I would give them something else to do or send them away or something like that. It depends on the person.
Yeah, and you know what you could also do if you already know they're not going to be susceptible to your sweetening? You could actually sweeten the spirit of the land where they reside. Connect with that and do what you need to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you could get creative there. So it just depends on how crazy your ex-friends are. Because sometimes they're really crazy and sometimes you just got to go. They're not that crazy.
Right. It's always good to know your audience, though.
It is, and it's great, when you know, people who are your friends.
Right. I mean, I've done sweetening on somebody in particular, and it worked for about 2 days, and that was it. And then I had to go to more drastic measures, so that I speak from experience. Sometimes it works really, really well, And sometimes it's not the right thing to do, which is also why you want to use your divination.
Right.
So you don't not wasting your time. But that was when I was new. I tried to make this particular person nicer to me instead of going a different route. I know better now. I know now that that's not going to work with that particular person.
Right. You don't want to sweeten me anymore?
You're already sweet enough as it is. I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Well, what about this right here? And laugh and have fun, and because that's really important when you start building confidence in anything you do. You just have to have fun. If you don't have fun and if you don't really practice, because if you take things too seriously all the time, you're not going to have that confidence because you're going to be so stressed out and you're going to be irritated that you can't really embrace and enjoy that. It's just fun. Being a witch is fun. It's work, but what we do is rewarding. And the more that we do, the more we gain in skill, the more we gain in power, the more we gain in network, whether it be with spirits or actual people. But the more we do, the more we push out, we help, we expand, and we grow. The more we grow, the better we feel. And the better we feel, the more fun we have. And see, that's all traveling. The more fun we have, the more confidence we have because we're enjoying something that we are actually doing. Mm-hmm. Simple. It really is simple. And I don't know. People just think too much. They think too much and they lack confidence because they're actually, I have noticed, and I'm going to say this, most people who lack the confidence in their practice are the people who are not practicing or who are weekend witches.
Those are the ones that are usually scared too. They don't want to do any spells because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't want to dabble. Well, then stop dabbling and start doing. Yes. Start with something simple. Start with a prosperity spell or a self-love spell or something that you need, or a road opening, something that you need to accomplish, that you need to do for yourself to help yourself. I always experimented on myself. I experiment on myself, and it usually goes a little wonky, but I can laugh at it. That's another thing too, is if your spell work does go a little wonky, you have to have the ability to laugh at it and to laugh at the situation and figure out why it went wonky. Like, what happened? And that love spell, I did not write that I wanted somebody who wanted a commitment. So I gotta, you know what I mean? Like, and then I was like, okay, after the third guy that just wanted to, you know, whatever, I was like, oh, I get it now. I know what happened. I know what went wrong. All right, you got me. So you have to laugh at yourself and you have to not take it too seriously. Now, if you are in a dire situation and you're doing a spell, like a health situation, and it goes wonky, why did you let yourself get in a situation in the first place? You know, this is one of those things where it's like you should be using magic as you go for things to make your life smoother and it go better. You should never use magic as a last resort to pull yourself out of a financial hole or a health hole, or that sounded weird, but you know, a lot of big health problems or whatever it is. Like, it should never get to that point.
Right.
Magic may not always be the very first choice, but it should never ever be the last choice.
And I think, and again, that's so true because people really don't consider these common sense things. Probably gonna be bored with this damn show. I don't care, but it's true. Magic really should not be like the last resort in the sense that you wait till the last minute after things get so completely wrong that you decide to cast then, because that's also puts a damper on your confidence because it will take longer to work most likely. So people who have like love altars, people who have like money altars, you know, they keep them going, they keep feeding them. So when they do a money spell, when they do a love spell, it tends to happen like how I'm talking with my goddamn hands. Hi. So it tends to happen faster because they are keeping that energy in fluid movements. So it's constantly on the go. It's constantly being worked. Not necessarily a spell, but you have that altar in your home. You have that energy being promoted. So when you're doing that work, it's just there already. You have that good relationship. So when you cast that spell, you have more of a chance of having successful, powerful results because you already have that like link. You already have that energy and movement with you. Versus if you wait to the last minute and it is freaking like too late.
Well, think about it for a second. What happens when you wait until the last minute? You get nervous, you get anxious,
It's anxious,
right? You get all crazy, and that's what happens is you're going to do your spell and you're going to be desperate, and then it's going to come out and it's going to I've done it before. That's what I'm saying. And it turns into a shit show. And it does.
Shit show.
Go all crazy. No, for me it worked out in the end, but at the time it was such an emotionally charged, anxiety-ridden situation that I should not have waited for. And it did work out at the end. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have done preventative measures.
Right.
Definitely.
And that's kind of the thing. Is like that's why, yes, if you are a witch and you witch the situation at the last minute or before, it's going to work. It should work. But you build more strength, you build more confidence.
Right.
You root that confidence if you start keeping a regular practice versus waiting till the last minute, which is sometimes unavoidable, but waiting till the last minute to practice something, which then you're like freaking out. You do get anxiety. You're like, is it going to work? It's not going to work in time. What's going to happen? You know, then that puts like a hold on the work that you do, and that's not good either. So those are things to consider. Those are things like if you want to boost your confidence, then and you're going to do a money spell, make sure to start having a money altar. Make sure to keep that damn toilet seat down. Make sure to have the door shut. Make sure to have your mirrors a certain way. There are things that you can do to promote that energy, anything that you're going to do. And that's like really important when it comes to building that confidence in your practice. Another thing, again, y'all have questions, ask them because we're going to close soon. But another thing that I found, like I was watching a YouTube video, which is really hard to find good YouTube channel shows. So if y'all have recommendations, please send them my way. But I was watching something that Dorothy was doing. She was like doing like a lecture somewhere, and she was talking about like abundance. Like when you go to sleep, start doing blessings, start praying, witching, whatever you want to call it, at whatever you do. Not just for yourself. Stop asking just for yourself. Start asking for your friends. Start asking for the people around you, because when people around you are blessed, you are blessed as well. So when everyone around you is blessed, you tend to get more blessings. So when you stop asking just for yourself and you start being more grateful and you start asking more for, not just yourself, but the people around you, it intensifies that energy and more stuff starts coming to you. So it's a really good thing. And I started doing that. And no shit, but the next day, I got a check in the mail for like $500 that I was not even expecting. Like I didn't even know. Like when I got that, I was like, thank you so much. I needed this. Like I needed this. Thank you. I was not expecting it. I did not know I was going to get it. And I do link that with what I did the night before, because I was put in this energy. I was put in this place where I really wanted blessings for the people around me. Like I saw them, like I put them in these situations. I saw them growing. I saw them being abundant. I saw them smiling. Like I did all of that with quite a few people around me. And then I saw myself smiling and myself receiving that. And then the next day I had a confirmation that what I'm doing is working. And that built my confidence as well.
Right.
So I'm trying to think, like, we kind of just went crazy. And so basically the simplest thing and the whole damn show, we could boil it down to one thing, and that is practice your craft. And that is how you will step into your confidence. You will gain experience and laugh and have fun.
And I think a lot of it, you have to ignore people. You have to learn how to ignore people and not take what they say to heart. A lot of people feel things too deeply and so deeply, and you can't let those words bother you.
No. So, is there anything else you would like to say before we say peace?
I do want to say that it's weird doing this just you and me, and I miss the other two because it's weird.
It is.
This is a great show, but it still feels weird.
I know, it is. It is weird. It's like, oh, where are our other halves?
Yeah.
We miss you. But they got shit to do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're gonna have so much fun when we release the member subscriptions, when we release all the stuff that we have in the works. We're really going to raise the bar, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who's participating. And we really, I really ask you to share our page, share, and invite people to join us. Because in order for us to grow, we need more people to be present. In order for you to grow, we need more people to be present, because the more people that we can help change, and the more people who may need what we have to offer, you don't know until they are given that option.
I also think, too, part of confidence is being able to share and sharing what inspires you.
Yeah.
Right? If it makes you happy, you should talk about it and you should share it. And that's not an ego thing. That's in general. If something makes you happy, you talk about it and you share about it. And I think through talking about it, it'll help people be more confident and to where, they need to be.
Great.
Yep.
So again, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need 1,200 subscribers before we give an amazing box away. If we can get 1,200 subscribers by the end of this month, I will give 2 amazing gifts away, like the box and then something else, which will probably be another box full of amazing stuff, because that's how I do. So remember, share, invite your friends. Let's have fun together. Let's not keep us a secret. Let's grow together. And join the page, join the groups. Have fun, y'all. And just have fun. Step into your confidence. Enjoy it. Peace out.